lie down, that's fine. Make yourself comfortable. When you do get back up in a minute, make sure you've got your blocks and things round about you. Cushioning might be needed. Oh, actually, sorry, your blocks will be needed possibly now, or cushions. So we're going to go into a more restorative version of quite a strong pose. It's twisted roots, so you all know what you're doing. If you can take yourself into it straight away without me cueing it, then please do so. But otherwise, lying on your back. Oops, that was the mat, not me. Lying on your back, feet coming in towards you, not too close though, and then crossing your right leg over your left as if you were sitting in a chair, crossing your legs. Nice and tight at the inner thighs. Try and make the inner thighs squeeze together a little bit. And then you're going to lift your bottom up gently using your hands to support you. Move it about an inch to your right, to the same side as your top leg. And then take your hands out to the side, hands facing down just as a bit of support. You haven't done anything yet in this morning, so be very aware your legs will feel very heavy, so do not let them just drop here. Try and make it controlled. Have something over there ready to support you when you come over to so you'll be going to the left. Put your bricks there or cushions or something just to support you. Inhale and draw your tummies in. That's extra support for the weight of your legs then going over. And as you exhale, just slowly allow yourself to roll over towards your left, onto your left hip. You might find you can't go as far as you thought you were going to because you're quite tight and not so mobile yet on that right hand side. So bring in something to support you. Might be your bolster. You might need 2 bricks and a cushion. Don't go any further than your body's allowing you to go to at the moment. We're not doing yin here. We're just resting in this position for a couple of minutes. So once you've adjusted and found yourself over there, your shoulders should stay on the floor. Because your legs are lower down as you go over, your body doesn't get quite so involved. It's more about your hips. It's a version of eagle in effect. So you're now over, hopefully, supported in that position, not feeling too uncomfortable. We want to be able to relax and feel comfortable in this position here. And then we'll come to the theme today, which is accept, trust, and surrender. And that's taken from Ishvara Pranidhana, that lovely phrase that I like to say. So from Kriya Yoga, from the 3 points of Kriya Yoga, the last one being Ishvara Pranidhana, which means surrendering is what Pranidhana means. Ishvara can have many meanings depending on who you are. So it originally would have meant divinity or God, so surrendering to the divine. But as things have moved on, it doesn't need to have religious connotations. Ishvara can mean even just your own higher self. It could be the universe, another form of spirituality that you believe in, creation itself maybe. But what we're walking towards is a sense of oneness and away from a sense of selfishness. So here in this position, see what you can accept, see what you can trust in, and see what you can surrender to. So I would suggest trusting in your breath to help you here. Trusting in the support of whatever you've put under your legs. Trusting that although I've said to go into this position, you know you don't need to. Accepting that it's good for you. Accepting that you've done this before and you can do it again. And then surrendering, using the breath to try and release into this position a little bit more. We won't be here for many more breaths, so try and enjoy yourself. Find the comfort in this position. Take a few breaths, seeing what you can let go of, what you can accept, what you can trust, what you can surrender to. one of my favourite positions, this one. But it's not for everybody. Like we said, you can try to help people by telling them what to do, but it may not be the best thing for them. So hopefully everybody's getting towards surrendering in this and rather than holding on. But we're going to move to the other side now. So prepare yourself for that. So engage your tummy muscles, use your breath, gently lift yourself back up to the top. Uncross your legs, move your bottom back to centre, and then just take a moment there. Noticing how you feel. If you are able to get to that point of surrender, it is such a feeling. It's almost walking towards bliss, which is what we're aiming for in yoga. Samadhi. No, sorry, wrong one. Anyway, we're aiming towards bliss. Brain's not active this morning. So we're going to the other side now. When you're ready, cross the other leg over. Think of those inner thighs, giving them a little squeeze to make sure you're nice and enclosed there. Lifting the bottom up, moving to your left this time, moving all the supports, hopefully you've already thought of that one, moving all the supports over to the other side, engaging the tummy muscles, using the hands as extra support here to move over, using the breath, so the inhale beforehand, exhale you're using to just gently control and move over to the left, to the right, sorry, onto your right hip. If the legs sort of separating things, don't worry too much, but use something under them to try and lift you up so that you've come to a point of comfort. For some people, this sense of surrendering is not comfortable. This sense of, it's the same thing as the other last week when we did stillness. For some people, finding stillness is a huge challenge. For some people, surrendering is a huge challenge. Moving towards these things isn't always comfortable, but it's not always meant to be comfortable. So again, accept where you are, trust your breath, and move towards letting go and surrendering to what you're doing. So Ishvara Pranidhana, while we're here, I'm just going to read a few thoughts on the meaning of Ishvara Pranidhana. So clarity can come from finding this. We quieten the ego. We brighten the mind and begin to trust our intuition. We begin to make meaning out of life, to understand. This is the spirituality of our practice. And we begin to embody the mysteries of life. We let go of the need to control. And we become comfortable with that uncertainty. And so we move towards Ishvara, which can be many things to many people. God, spirit, universe, higher power, our higher self even. But what we're walking towards is oneness with everything around us. Take another couple of breaths, and when you're ready, using your tummy muscles again, remember, and the inhale, bring yourself back up to centre. Move yourself over to centre. And then carefully roll over onto one side and bring yourself up to kneeling when you're ready. No rush, take your time. Please move slowly. So when we come up to kneeling, we are going to be moving up and down on our knees a little bit and moving forward into child's pose variations. So if you need to pad your knees, stick something under them or fold your mat. We're going to take our breath practice here now, but instead of a 3-part breath, which normally would be more physical in that we're thinking of our upper chest, our middle and our lower belly area, we're going to take this and think of more the spirituality of it and take it as a 2-part breath. So as we take the arms up on the in-breath, we're only moving twice. And the first one would be accept in our heads and the little mantra of trust as we come up to the top, and then turn the hands and surrender on the exhale. So using the mantra accept, trust, surrender. So inhale is accept and trust, exhale is surrender. So let's take a few breaths in thinking of that. Close your eyes. If you feel uncomfortable at all with this mantra or anything that we're doing, please don't do it. Do your own thing. So when we're ready, inhale, inhale, 2-part breath and exhale. So bring in the mantra now if you want to. So it's accept, trust. At the top we turn the palms and we surrender on the exhale. Accept, trust, surrender. Continue with that. So accept, trust, surrender. Nice and slow. See if you can go even slower and smoother now. Make the inhale and the exhale match each other. The exhale is our best tool possibly for surrendering. We know it's the one that we can use to release ourselves physically on the mat when we need to let go of any tension in us, any holding. So the exhale is when you're ready to surrender. The inhale is much more doing, and the accepting and trusting are doing words. We have to think about them, move towards them. Surrendering is much more a non-doing thing in a way. Let's do 2 or 3 more. Accept, trust, surrender. A nice, long, slow breath. Really enjoying that exhale particularly. Focusing on your breath or focusing on the words, whatever is more connected with you this morning. And remember, as we do this, we don't breathe in. The universe breathes in for us. Our exhale makes that space as we surrender, and we allow that energy to come into us. It's a physical fact. It's part of physics. And I'm not very good on physics, remember, but it is to do with physics. We have to let in the breath of the universe. And our exhale is us surrendering to doing so. When you're ready, let go of the breath. Just pop your hands on your knees for a second. Eyes still closed, and see what you've begun to accept here. Maybe you're beginning to feel you're surrendering to what you're doing at least. Okay, so let's just start to move a little bit. We're going to stay down on our knees, not coming up the first time, just moving our arms. So find your breath again, connect with that nice long slow breath. Inhale, just take the arms up. On the inhale to the top, tip the fingers together, exhale, bring them back down, turn in the palms, releasing that energy. Take 2 more on your own. This is very much going to be a practice about doing things in your own way. I can't tell you how to accept, trust and surrender. It's a very personal thing. It's a personal journey. So 1 more of these, sorry. I will be telling you little bits and pieces to guide you, but obviously you have to find this practice yourself. So even physically, you have to decide how to move. So on the next breath, inhale up, and as you exhale, we're going to pop the hands down to the knees and we're going to release ourselves forward. Just the upper back is moving. So just tip the head, lift up. If you let go of the breath, don't worry, just come into a very high feeling of child's pose. And rest here, just find your breath again, take 2 or 3 breaths. The head's quite high, but you've dipped your head forward as a form of surrendering. Shoulders are still higher up than normal, elbows are bent, so you've got support of your hands and your knees. And then on your next inhale, roll your head up gently, start from the middle of your back, lifting up, back up to neutral. Exhale there. Open your eyes, everybody. Take a breath or so. And then we're going to move, and this time we are going to come up onto our knees if you're comfortable doing so. So hands are going to be facing, palms facing each other here at the side of your legs. When we all find our next inhale, we're going to inhale up 3 times, just extending, not a back bend, just lifting up through from the knees up to the middle fingers, opening up the side body. As you exhale, rolling back down. 2 more, inhaling up, exhaling down, thinking of the length physically through from the side of your knees, up through the side body to the tops of your fingers. Exhaling back down. Feel that release as you lift up off the legs. Having knelt there for a little while. Come back down to neutral. And as you do, swing your hands through if you can, just slightly backwards beside your feet and roll forward again, just the way you're comfortable. If you need your hands on the floor to support you or on your knees still, then that's fine. But you're a bit lower down in the child's pose feeling. You may have lost the breath, don't worry. When you find it again, take 2 or 3 breaths here. Try and keep the sit bones down on your heels, though. Try moving backwards. Engage the tummy muscles to support the lower back. Keep that engagement through your chin to support the head and the neck. If you feel it's a bit too strong, just lift up a little bit higher and engage through your heart and lift it up onto the back of your body, so opening up the back of the shoulder blades. So the strength on the front of the body is supporting the opening on the back of the body. Breathe here and accept where you've got to. Doesn't matter where it is, this is your practice, nobody else's. Before we come up again, open your eyes, look along the floor, roll open. And then prepare yourself on the next inhale to lift back up again and go into your little back bend this time. Palms are still facing. We're lifting our face up towards the sky, opening up and coming back down on the exhale. So 3 of those. So inhale, don't need to go right down, just bring yourself back down to your knees. We're not doing the surrendering here, we're just trusting what we're doing in our back bend, accepting where we're getting to. 1 more up. Coming down, I'm going a little bit lower this time into child's pose. As you exhale, bring yourself down, sit down on your bottom, and then bring your elbows down to the floor, maybe 1 at a time. Come down into your version of child's pose. If your head's really off the floor and to put it down, you're going to tip your bottom up. Fold your arms in front of you and pop your forehead onto your hands. So we're now right down, tummy's resting on our thighs. There's a real opening across the lower back. So do engage your tummy just a little if you feel that too strong. And then think again of opening through your shoulders. See if you can widen through your shoulders just a little bit more. Open up the back of your body. And take 2 or 3 breaths here. And sometimes we're not quite ready to open to these things, to open to the physical movement or to open to the idea of trusting and surrendering. We have to move ourselves gently towards it rather than throwing ourselves into it. Walk your own path is the phrase to use here, really. Okay, so when we come back up the next time, we're going to turn sideways so I can show you what we're doing. We're rolling back up gently, back up to kneeling. And then we're going to bring our right foot forward. And we come into a version of low lunge, but the left hip is over the left knee still. So we're not going into full low lunge here. We'll do that in a second. Hands down at the side again, palms facing inwards towards your legs. Close eyes if you want a little bit of a challenge in this, but if not, open them. When you're ready, we're going to inhale up. Coming into as much of a back bend as you want to. You don't need to go too far. Back down. Legs stay still, it's just the arms and shoulders really moving, and the spine obviously has to move if you're going into a back bend. Think of reaching up, looking up again, as far up towards the sky or that top corner as you're comfortable doing. Make sure you watch the lower back here, it's asymmetric, so don't push it. Take one more. Working with the breath and on the breath, taking it slowly with this movement. Come back down, take that right leg back now, so you're back onto your knees. Sit back down and come back down into child's pose. So down onto the floor with your elbows, or maybe you can stretch out a little bit further this time into extended child's pose. And take a couple of breaths here. So opening up a little bit more through the shoulders and the armpits if you've gone into extended. Maybe you can even lift up onto your fingertips and extend through the palms of your hands. Releasing and bringing a bit of mobility more into some of the other areas that might have been a little bit tight earlier. Walk your hands back in. Open your eyes, come back up slowly. Move your left foot forward now into the same position. Same thing, 3 arm raises. So when you're ready, inhaling up. Lift before you begin that back bend. Open up before you move the spine. Take 2 more. Enjoying the breath up, lifting you. Accepting, trusting. Exhale down, 1 more. Coming back into extended child's pose after this. Sometimes knowing where you're going helps you to accept things and trust it. So taking that left knee back, sitting back onto your bottom, coming down into your version, but extended child's pose if you're comfortable doing so. Head down to the floor. If the head's not quite making it, try and keep the head up and the bottom down. So you feel that long extension through the back of the lower back, particularly here. Lift the heart a little bit more, everybody. See if you can find a bit more extension through the upper back as well. And then find your breath and surrender to where you are. And then walk the hands back in. Open your eyes. Using your hands on the floor, we're going to tuck the toes, walk them forward, come into a very, very soft forward fold and gently roll up when you're ready. So keep the eyes open, look along the floor, take your time and come up to standing in your own time, in your own way. But once we get to the top, find Tadasana. Okay, so we're going to move into sun salutation now. We'll do it 2 or 3 times. We won't do the chaturanga or cobra, etc. in the first version. We'll just do our low lunges. But very much your choice how you do sun salutation this morning. So you might not do the full low lunge, for instance. You might do tabletop instead of down dog. You might not do plank, you might do half plank if we get that far. I'm not going to cue it a lot, we're going to try and work on the breath and just do it as a sun salutation, the way it's meant to be, just so that you activate yourself. This is what the old yogis would have done every morning, get up at 4 o'clock and do 10 rounds of this. So let's do 2 or 3 and see how we get on at 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So at the front of your mat, when you're ready, inhale, take the arms above the head. Exhale, just take the arms down this time. We're going to go left side bend. So the right arm up, not a normal one. Exhale over to the left. Find your right side opening. Set what we're doing. It might be a little bit different. Back up to the top. Exhale the arm down. Left arm up. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale down. Try and do your own cues as you do this. Inhale, arms above the head. Take your version of your swan dive. So it might be really soft knees this morning. Down into forward fold. On the next inhale, out into half fold. Exhale back into forward fold. Hands to the floor. Step back with your right foot. Come into your version of low lunge and tuck the toes, remember. When you find your inhale, inhale up, find that extension first of all this time, just extend, exhale, the hands back to the floor. We're going to step back with the right foot, left foot, front foot, come into down dog. Find your inhale, we're going to lift that right foot up now and we're going to step forward with the right foot. You could have done tabletop there, remember? Your version. So we're now all in our version of low lunge again on the other side. Inhale when you're ready, arms come up above the head, lifting out of the pelvis, hands come back down in the exhale. We just step forward with the back foot, come back into forward fold. When you find your inhale again, sweep up, open your eyes, look along the floor, come back up, hands above the head. Exhale, hands together, Anjali Mudra, down through heart center, back into Tadasana. Hopefully everybody's keeping up. Let's try that one on the other side now. Inhale, arms above the head. If you're not keeping up, it doesn't matter. It's your version. So do what you feel, what you can follow yourself. Left arm comes up on the inhale this time. We exhale over to the right. Take your own cues. You know all the cues I normally give you so well now. Left arm comes down in the exhale. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale over to your left side, so you're opening the right side body again. Inhale back up to the top. Exhale the arm down. When you're ready, inhale the arms above the head. We're swan diving into forward fold on the exhale. Maybe your legs are opening a little bit more now as we go into the inhale and the forward half fold. Exhale down into forward fold, hands to the floor. Step back with your left foot this time. Come down into your version of low lunge. When you're ready, inhale up and just extend. Exhale down. Step back into down dog or tabletop. Lift the left foot when you're ready. Bring it forward now into your other side of low lunge. Inhale the arms up above the head. If you lose the breath, just breathe, just move, flow with it. Don't worry too much about breathing and doing everything all together. Step forward with the back foot. You come back into your forward fold. Find your breath again. Inhale, sweep up, take that energy in. Hands come together, exhale, release the energy, surrender back down and into Tadasana. Take a breath. So let's do that one again, and this time we'll take it into a more of a back bend feeling. When we go up in low lunge, we'll go more for the lifting the heart up towards the top corner or the sky, whichever you want to look at it as. When you're ready, inhale, hands above the head, exhale, swan dive, forget the side bends this time, straight down into our swan dive, into our forward fold. Inhale into half fold when you're ready. Exhale into forward fold, step back with your right foot again, low lunge, your version, knee can be nearer if you need to. Inhale, arms up, and lift up out of your pelvis, roll the heart forward. Stop there and take a couple of breaths now. So let's all catch up. So really enjoy that, looking upwards to things above you, to everything out there, the whole of the universe around you. And then release the arms back down. Step back into tabletop or down dog. Find your breath again. Inhale the right foot forward this time. Come into your low lunge. Bit of a flat. Inhale, arms up. Find your back bend this time. Open the heart. Take the shoulders back. Lift your eyes up a little bit higher. And breathe. Enjoy this. Try and surrender. Accept where you are. Trust what you're doing. And enjoy it. Find the comfort in the pose. Just being here. Hands come back down. We step back forward with the back foot. Come back to the front into forward fold. When you're ready, inhale, sweep up. Look along the floor. Take it easy. Don't rush it up or you'll get head rush. Hands together. And we come back down through into Tadasana. Take that on the other side now. So inhale, arms up above the head, no side bend. Exhale, rolling down into forward fold. Inhale into half fold. Exhale into forward fold. Step back with the left foot this time, come into your low lunge. Inhale, arms up and find your back bend. Rest there. Breathe. You're finding this not much of a challenge. Close your eyes. And then release the hands back down, stepping back into down dog or tabletop. Finding your breath, lifting up the left foot, this time. Stepping forward with the left foot into your low lunge. Inhale, find your back bend. Take a few breaths here. See what you can improve in your physical cues, if you can help yourself out to find that comfort. And then release the hands down, the back toe step forward, back into your forward fold. Breathe in, sweep up, look along the floor, up the wall. Hands come together, exhale, down through heart center, back into Tadasana. Take a breath or two. We're going to go into the full sun salutation here. A third version. So obviously, as I said, take it the way you want to take it this morning. We're doing it a little bit quicker than when we cue it. Keeping up with the breaths can be quite difficult and challenging, so don't worry too much about that. And if you'd rather do tabletop or half plank, then please do. I won't cue into either of those particularly, so hopefully you can all find your own way. So come back to the front of the mat again. We're going to start with the in-breath. We won't do side bends though. So inhale, arms up above the head. Exhale, swan dive into your forward fold. Inhale, find your half fold. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with the right foot into low lunge. Inhale, extend or back bend, whichever you want to do. Exhale, back down. Stepping back into tabletop or high lunge. Down dog, God, nothing wrong this morning. From here, we're going to come forward now into plank or half plank. So a little bit different this morning. So you can either drop your knees down into half plank, or you can move your shoulders forward over your wrists and come into plank. So you should find yourself in alignment there. And then everybody remember to turn the elbows forward, the inner elbows, to make you a little bit stronger there. Moving the elbows in backwards tight to the side of the body and moving the heart forward, coming down to the floor gently. Untuck the toes if you're in full plank. Gently moving up through baby cobra. Exhaling back down to the floor. Coming back into down dog or tabletop now. So tucking toes if you're coming fully up to down dog. And then we're taking the low lunge on the other side. So we're lifting up our right leg and we're bringing it forward into low lunge. Foot untucks at the back, find your low lunge. Inhale when you're ready, come up to either extended or your little back bend following the extension. Exhale, come back down. And then we tuck that back toe, we step forward, back into a forward fold. Open the eyes, sweep up. Exhale down through heart center, back into Tadasana. So changing it up sometimes. Our journey is not always smooth, we don't always know what's coming. So sometimes when something slightly off kilter happens, it knocks us off the path. Accepting that it's the path we're supposed to be on and that we can trust the fact we will get back onto wherever we're meant to be. It's part of all our journey in life. We don't know what's ahead. Things are quite comfortable sometimes and then it all just goes wrong. But trusting that it's happening for a reason and that we will find our way back to the path. Okay, come back to the front. When you've got your breath now, hopefully do this again. Inhale, arms up above the head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left foot goes back this time. Exhale there. Inhale, draw yourself up, find your extension of your back bend. Exhale, arms back down. Step back to tabletop or down dog. So finding that again. Then finding on your next breath into plank or half plank. Once you're aligned, inhale, exhale, down to the floor. Inhale up into baby cobra or cobra, depending how strong you're feeling now. Inhale back up into tabletop or down dog. Lifting the left leg this time, bringing the left foot forward when you're ready into your low lunge. Inhaling up when you're ready into your extension and rolling open into a back bend if you can. Exhaling, hands come back to the floor. Stepping forward with that back foot into your forward fold. Might just hang here for a minute. See how far you've come on your journey. Maybe your legs are open. Maybe you're able to let go a little bit more out your pelvis. Maybe you can give your head a little shake. Realise that the thoughts are not in there anymore at the moment. And then coming up from here, open your eyes. Draw your head forward slightly so you're looking at the floor. And then inhale and slowly soften your knees, bend them and lift yourself up to the top again. Hands come down through heart center and come back to Tadasana. Take 2 or 3 breaths here in Tadasana. So, accepting how those sun salutations went. Sometimes we get things wrong. My words go all higgledy-piggledy quite often nowadays. And I may have said the wrong names for some of the poses there. Hopefully you all know sun salutation enough to follow what we're doing now. And the comfort of that, of doing something that you know, is really helpful in this process that we're talking about today. So accepting something that you don't understand is often very difficult. And then having to move towards trusting so that it is happening, maybe for a reason that you don't understand. And by doing that, you're already walking forward to the surrendering to the fact that you're not in charge. Something else is, and you're part of something much bigger. Okay, so let's take a warrior that we don't often do, the humble warrior. It's quite a strong pose. Do use your hands and your knees in this one if you need to, and don't put them above your head if you find that too strong. So we're standing at the front of the mat and we're stepping back into warrior one first of all. So coming to your warrior one feet, cue your own feet here, decide where you need to be. Remember all the other cues, try and remember them yourself. So find yourself in your warrior one this morning. Bring your hands to heart center. I'll just show you this while you're standing here and you're having a little bit of a stability balance thing going on here. Warrior one, we then move into humble warrior by taking the arms up above the head. We sweep them round to the back. And once we've clasped our hands together, we inhale tall and then we fold over that front hip hinge by pressing gently on the back foot and lengthening, keeping that long front body, keeping the chin tucked, long back and neck. And we're moving forward over that front thigh so that you end up kind of feeling you're parallel to the floor. Knees still bent on that front leg, you're still using the back foot. And then we're lifting the hands up and rolling forward. If you're comfortable doing that, to dip your head and lift your hands up. To come back up, you really have to use the feet, use the tummy muscles, use the back. Your hands, I find I lift myself up with the hands. That's what I think about when I'm doing it. And then you come back up to the top. So let's try that together if you haven't already tried it with me. So we'll step back with the right foot if you're in that one already, hopefully while you were watching. Hands are at heart center. Do your little alignment cues. When you're ready, inhale everybody, take the arms up above the head. Sweep the arms round. Bring them back behind you, clasp the fingers. Inhale, find that length through, open up the heart. See if you can do a little back bend here, draw the shoulders together, just breathe. Reaching the heart upwards, looking upwards. Keeping that back foot engaged, keeping the softness in the front knee, keeping the tummy engaged. Inhale again, and as you exhale, allow yourself to fold forward over the front leg. So just find yourself then to a point that you feel comfortable. You've still got to feel connected to that back foot, the edge of the back foot. If you go too far forward and your back foot lifts, press down on the back foot. It might lift you back up body-wise again, but that's fine. Find the balance there, wherever you are. If you're finding this too strong, bring your hands forward onto your knees and use that as your support. So everybody then, hopefully, wherever you are, hands and knees as well, just tuck your chin, lift your heart up onto the back of your body. So draw it through and start to roll forward over that front knee. Allowing yourself to come down. As you do, if your hands are behind you, see if you can lift your hands up, lifting the shoulders up. So drawing the hands up, letting the head dip down towards the floor. Humble warrior, quite strong. You might now be thinking, how am I going to get back up from this? It's quite easy. Switch everything on again, switch your feet on particularly. Allow the hands to come down. Allow the head to just come up by tucking the chin, lengthening through the back of the neck. And then use both feet, use the hands if they're helpful to focus on, and lift yourself back up to the top. Draw the hands forward again, come back into Anjali Mudra, step forward and find yourself into Tadasana. So quite a strong pose, that one. Hopefully you find your own way without having to find yourself struggling or holding. Hands on legs are very helpful there. Okay, let's try it on the other side. Step back with the left foot this time. Come into your warrior one. Hands at heart center. Remember all the alignment cues for your warrior one. When you're ready, inhale, take the arms up above the head. Open the palms, reach out. Take a couple of breaths here, reaching out with the heart upwards. Drawing the tummy in just to support the lower back in this position. Finding your feet. Focusing on that front hip hip hinge, which we're going to move over in a minute. So then sweep the arms round as you straighten back up into extended spine. Bring your hands behind you. Clasp the other way this time if you can. Inhale tall, and then fold in the exhale over that front leg. As I say, bring the hands forward onto your thighs if you need the extra support. Find the length first of all. Just breathe, find the length, find your connection with your front body. Lift your tummy, lift your heart. Draw your hands backwards down towards your bottom a little bit more if you've got them behind you. Reach out through your crown. Find the edge of that back foot. And then we're going to soften. So as I say, hands can go onto thighs. Just lift the tummy, lift the heart, rolling forward, tucking the chin, head coming down. So the crown's now going down towards the floor. Lifting the hands up behind you. Humble warrior. In supplication. To what? I'm not sure, but you decide what you want to surrender to. It's not the easiest position to surrender in, to be perfectly honest. But it is a sign of humility, which all of us try to work towards a little bit in these classes. So then push into the feet. Engage the tummy, the chin. Lift up gently, back up to the top. Bring the hands forward into heart center again. And then step forward. And come back into Tadasana. Take a couple of breaths there. So, humility is something we all fight our ego throughout life, trying to find that humility. Humble warrior. Okay, so moving on from here, we're going to come back down to the floor now for a few gentle movements before we finish. So tucking the chin, tucking the belly, allowing yourself to roll down, hands on the knees. Take it easy, take it slowly. Let go of that ego that's trying to get you down there too quickly. Just let it hang out, come down. Have a little hanging ragdoll again. And then bring yourself one knee at a time down onto the floor. And then come back into extended child's pose just for a moment. Or just into child's pose if you'd rather, elbows to the floor. Just allowing the back to soften. Allow the belly to take the support of the knees. Find your breath again. Trust the breath to help you through any situation. And then choice is to stay here or in another version of child's pose if you want to take it, or to come into puppy pose. So bringing our hips up if you're coming into puppy pose so that your knees are under your hips. Tummy's engaged to support that lower back. You're on your elbows possibly now at the moment. That's fine if you just want to take your head to the floor and drop your heart down, but do be careful of the lower back. If you want to go a little bit further, extend the elbows forward. See how far you can get your heart down towards the floor. And maybe even onto your chin. So bottom should stay back over knees. Tummy shouldn't just hang. You need it to support your lower back. You should have that nice long back before your back bend. So if there's any crunching at the lower back or round about your waist, you haven't extended enough and you've gone too low. So you need to either lift your heart and give into the fact that you're not going down to the floor, or you need to extend the spine a little bit more. So from the tailbone, move forward before you allow the heart to release down to the floor. So melting heart, this is in, I think in America, that's what they call this one. So we call it puppy pose. They call it melting heart. One that you have to really surrender to. So it takes a bit of giving before you might feel comfortable. And it's not for everybody. Not every pose is for everybody. Like I said about list making. So then walk your hands back in, bring yourself back up carefully. I'm going to come back to seated, but I'm going to sit on my low brick. So use a cushion here if you have got one, or a low brick if you happen to have one. And we're going to come into Paschimottanasana, westward facing pose. So another form of humility or supplication it would have been. So we're thinking of surrendering over here. Lifting up through the sit bones. If you're on something hard, like I am, a book or something, you can sit your tailbone forward a little bit more so that you're almost hanging off it. It just allows you to lift the spine a bit more. You can soften the knees here and bring them up a little bit if it's going to be too strong for you. So that's another option to try. And one way to do it is to start like that and then allow yourself to come down. But what we're aiming for here is a forward fold, but sitting down. So think of the hip hinges, move the pelvis forward over the hip hinges towards the thighs, and then think of the heart, move the heart forward. As I say, we haven't done a lot on the back of the hamstrings, done a bit in sun salutation. They may be okay with it, they may not. If they're not, bend your knees so that you're like this moving forward. And coming into a very gentle version, your version of Paschimottanasana this morning. Some people will just flop forward here and be completely at ease. Those that do, just be a little bit aware of whether that humility is still there. Those that don't, try to accept where you've got to. Try not to push yourself towards something that's maybe not achievable today. Trust that where you are is where you're meant to be. And breathe. Very inward facing pose, this one. Completely the opposite of a lot of what we've been doing this morning. Drawing us back in to look inward at ourselves. Hopefully not to judge ourselves, to be kind to ourselves when we think about where we are, what we're doing. And you'll feel your body start to give in this pose as you start to surrender to it. As we know, that's the parasympathetic nervous system switching on, the rest and digest, they give in, let go. And physically, when you start to let go into it, maybe what happens is your mind starts to get a little busier, maybe not. Maybe your mind lets go too. Maybe you're able to surrender completely. Take 2 or 3 more breaths, not judging where you are, but just thinking about what's going on physically, mentally, spiritually. And then when you're ready, just engage your tummy muscles, soften your knees if it helps, bring yourself back up, very slowly rolling back up through to the top. Coming into Sukhasana legs, so cross legs, and then bringing your hands behind you as a counter pose for what we've just done. So very gently, take your hands behind you one at a time. And then think of moving into a little back bend here. So we're engaging the tummy muscles, but we're lifting out the pelvis, rolling the heart forward, opening through the collarbones, lifting up through the chin. So still engaged in the chin, but opening up the throat just a little bit more. And lifting out of that lower back. So press gently into your legs and your sit bones and lift and release that pressure that was going through into your lower pelvis and the back of your body. Feeling your spine open up. And breathe. And then slowly settle the sit bones back down, allow yourself to come back up. Uncross the legs, recross the legs, same thing. Just move into it in your own way. I'm coming up onto my knuckles or my fingertips now, just to see if I can get a little bit more lift as I roll forward into this soft back bend, very front body opening, allowing the back body just to rest a little bit here. Not necessarily using it as major support, you're using your hands and your legs here to support and lift you as if somebody's stretching you. Breathe. And then slowly rolling back down to settle. You can stay cross-legged in that version, or you can come back to the other side, whichever you feel more comfortable with. Close your eyes, bring your hands to heart center. Just a few thoughts on accept, trust and surrender before we leave practice. As we finish, begin to surrender. Surrender to the postures, the difficult ones reflect life struggles, and the easy ones reflect our joy. Surrender to the outcome of your actions. They're not in your control always. Each day, each practice, just do your best. Surrender to the actions of this universe, the marvels of nature, the things you never saw coming. Surrender to your present difficulties, the pain, the losses, especially to the things you tried so hard to control but couldn't. Surrender to the definition of yourself and your judgments. They are just your way of limiting who you are. Have a deep, unwavering trust that right now you're where you're meant to be. And feel the universe working its magic through you. Thank you for your practice, everyone. May the light in me always greet the light in you. Namaste.